So we were talking about what kind of challenges or how improving citizen quality of life is just one challenge. We said yesterday in the class that life is not good in Brazil. Okay? Life is not good because people are very poor and they cannot find enough job opportunities. And even if they
Miss أنا
find
قلت
them,
جسر here but you didn't hear me.
أنا سمعتك يا جاسر وقلت okay.
Hmm.
So don't interrupt again يا جاسر. So we were talking about quality of life. We said that people in Brazil are very poor and they don't have a high quality of life. So they were trying many movements in order to improve this kind of life. Actually, the government is sponsoring a program. Who can read what kind of program? Ward, please read this part.
Improving citizens' quality of life is just one of the challenges facing Brazil. The
Yes.
government is sponsoring a program to colonize the country's sparsely populated interior. Several highways have been built across the country. The most important is the Trans-Amazonica Highway from the coastal city of Recife to the border with Peru to relieve poverty and overcrowding. Poor rural Brazilians have been offered free land in the Amazon if they will develop it. Thousands have followed new roads into the Amazon basin to take advantage of this offer.
So they are trying to
Brazilians
improve.
also have
Wait,
worked to
Lawar.
develop.
They are trying to improve the highways in order to make use of all Brazil. Because we said that some Brazil areas are actually isolated due to the physical geography of the area. So they are trying to make use of the area, they are trying to improve it. And actually, they have succeeded to build new routes into the Amazon basin to take the advantages of this offer. Complete your word. Brazilians also.
Brazilians also have worked to develop the energy resources the country needs for continued economic development. Large power plants along several major rivers use water power to produce most of Brazil's electricity. In the 1970s, the high cost of oil caused the government to develop a program that substitutes ethanol, a fuel made from sugarcane, for gasoline. Recent discoveries of oil and natural gas off Brazil's coast provide the country with the energy it needs.
Yes, actually, also Brazilians have worked to develop the energy resources, which are considered very important in manufacturing. So, number one was to challenge was quality of life, and they have done two procedures. They have developed the routes, and also they have developed the energy resources, which have large power plants along the several major rivers. So they have used the rivers in order to have produce electricity like we have here in Egypt, we have the high dam, which help us also to produce electricity. So, what is the challenge of life and what are the two solutions? Who can tell me? What kind of a challenge is facing people who live in Brazil? Who can tell me? Adam Wasil. Can you tell me what kind of a challenge that face people who live in Brazil? Adam
Yes.
Wasil. Yes.
Yes.
Tell me what kind of a challenge that face people who live in Brazil.
Poverty and
Yes, they are very poor and low quality of life, right? So they are facing
yes.
poverty and they are facing low quality of life. And how did they try? Thank you, Adam. How did they try to solve this problem? They have two main or major developments. What are they? Who can tell me? Where can you see them? Can you say them?
The solutions.
Yes, the solutions.
Okay. Um, the government is sponsoring a program to colonize the country's sparsely populated interior. And also, some highways have been built across the country. Uh, and the most important highway is the Trans-Amazonica highway from the coastal city of Recife to the border with Peru.
Mhm. And also, they have used the river as a very renewable resource for electricity and for as an energy resource. This is another one. Thank you, Award. Who can complete reading environmental concerns? Or what are the environmental concerns that face people who live in Brazil? Who can tell me? Yalla Ibrahim, go ahead.
Okay. Um, um, Programs to develop Brazil's interior have resulted in great concern for the future of the Amazon rainforest. Logging has long been a problem as trees are cut down to sell as wood. The Transamon- Transamonica Highway and other new roads have increased easier to get into the rainforest and to get the logs out, the farmers, the ranchers, the minerals, and other settlers, the roads have bought into the region have become cause for even greater concern. About 15% of the rainforest already gone, and the rate of its the destruction has attracted worldwide attention. It is easy to think that good soils must lie underneath the tropical rainforest. However, this is often not true. The heat and the moisture of an area that keep nutrients in the biosphere that is in the living organisms, particularly the plants. As a result, the soil is poor when the forest is cleared for farming. The soil cannot support crops.
So, one of the environmental concerns, we have programs to develop Brazil's interior, which has resulted in great concern for the future of the Amazon. We said that one of the most important features or physical features in Brazil was the Amazon rainforest. It has plenty of plants and animals with different species and strange species. So it was very strange to when they were building the roads, it was actually ending the habitats for those animals. So logging has been a problem. Trees are cut down to be sold as wood. Also, the Transamazonica, which is a very important highway, and other routes have been increased this destruction by making it easier to get into the rainforest and to get the logs out. Farmers and ranchers and miners and other settlers, the routes have brought the region to become cause for even greater concern. So about 50% of the rainforest already gone, which is very dangerous because we need the rainforest. It actually will affect us in many aspects. And also, it's easy to think that some oils must lie underneath the tropical rainforest. However, this is often not true. The heat and the moisture of the area keep the currents of the biosphere, that's the living organism particularly, and the plants. As a result, the soil is very poor when the forest is cleared for farming and the soil cannot support crops. And even if we cut down the roots in order to use it for actually for growing plants, it's not good because it's not good as a soil. It's very poor soil. These are the main concerns in the region. Okay, grade 7. Grade
Okay.
7. Let me كده have a quick revision for the whole lesson for the online people. يعني يعني we have finished so we can have a quick revision. We said that life in Brazil in general would cause actually many problems because people in Brazil are very poor. Okay, we said that Brazil has diverse population. Many ethnic groups live under the same roof in Brazil, and we have group of multi-ethnic Brazilians, which are persons with European and African ancestors. We said also that people of European and Native American ancestry are smaller groups, but most people who live in Brazil are coming from Portuguese ancestry. We said here a question: why do we have the most diverse marriages? Because in Brazil, it is allowed for people to marry from different ethnic groups. Okay. Also, we said that we have something called the hinterland, And hinterland was a place which minority groups have escaped into. Okay. We said that most Brazilians now live formally in villages, or they used to be living in villages for farming, but now people are trying to escape from the village into, or from the rural areas to urban areas to find better job opportunities. Okay, so most of Brazilians now try to escape to the city in order to find better job opportunities. We said that we have two kinds of life there. We have the metropolitan area, which are the areas around the central city. And the central city is considered like the capital city. So we have the metropolitan areas, which has the central city, and we have something called the favelas. Favelas are places for middle class urban dwellers. They live in apartment buildings, they don't live in mansions. And they also, although they live in apartment buildings, they are actually not very wealthy. They are middle class or very poor. Okay. And they live on the edge of the cities, not on the central cities. But actually, although Wavens is a very good opportunity for people who are very poor to live in the city, but actually it has its own disadvantages because it's full of crime, and houses there, there is no running water, and actually houses there are not the best quality of it because people cannot afford to build houses. So whether they are living in apartment buildings or they live in shacks or huts. Okay. Then we've talked about the culture of people of Brazil, and we said that, as I told you before, because Brazil has many multi-ethnic groups, it is actually and has also many multi-culture. And we said that there is something very well known, which is the Brazilian way. And the Brazilian way, actually, or the attitude that people of Brazil welcome any different ethnic group, which we call it the Brazilian way of life. Okay. Also, we've talked about the languages, and we said that the main language is Taban Portuguese, because many people who are coming from Portuguese live in Brazil. But also we have other languages, but they are not a lot. We have the Brazilian Portuguese. And we said in the class that if you're coming from Portugal, it's not the same Portuguese spoken in Portugal. Why? Because Brazilians have introduced new words to the Portuguese language. So it is a little bit changed, all right? But we have other languages or expressions that are used from native people. We also talked about the religion and the arts, and we said that most Brazilians, or actually two-thirds of the Brazilians, are Roman Catholic, but 20% only attend services. Women go to the church more than men, and old people go to the church more than the young. The rest of the Brazilians are Protestants, and we have minorities from Islam and other Eastern religions such as Buddhism. They are actually now growing in number, but the main religion there is Christianity, whether it's Roman Catholic or the Protestants. We have actually also other African influences on the culture, such as the food and the music and the dance. We said that people have blended the samba with jazz, and they have called it the bossa nova. Samba is the main dance in Brazil, but they have added the jazz music to it, and they have changed it into the bossa nova. Bossa nova is the most important dance in Brazil. We said that Brazil actually have gained fame because of their famous dance, and we said that they are celebrating something called the carnival. In carnival, people wear the traditional clothes of Brazil, and they are dancing sambas, or they have fireworks, and especially in big cities such as Rio de Janeiro, which is the largest carnival. Rio de Janeiro is the largest carnival. Then we have compared the rural and the urban life. We said that people in rural areas have close ties with the family. Families actually live together. They hold family reunions and gatherings. They are working in plantations or ranchers or farms. and they have main food, which is beans, cassava, and rice. But in urban life, it's very different because people way of life is very similar to the American way of life. All right. Actually, and we said that football is their main, one of their main interests. And the Brazil football team is very famous all around the world. Okay. Also, we talked about the education and earning a living, and we said that people are free whether to have education or not in Brazil. But actually, education is not one of their best. But now we are having new movements in order to take care of the education because people who are well educated earn more money than people who are coming from high school, right? And we said that people actually are seeking to have like skilled workforce, and the government is trying to improve the education at all levels by something called Science Without Borders, and another program which is Brazil Without Poverty. So these are two important programs in Brazil. Brazil Without Poverty, which aimed to raise the standard of living by raising the access to education, because education is one of the main aspects in order to get into the development of the country. And we said about Science Without Borders, which is a program which aims to send thousands of students to universities abroad, and, including to college at the United States. This is a quick summary for the lesson. Guys, anyone want to ask any question about the lesson?
No, thank you.
Okay, you can watch the video again and write down the notes. It will help you very well. And this is a quick summary for the lesson. For this lesson, you study it from the practice book, not from the textbook, okay? And your homework, I will tell you what about your homework, and please spread the word. I will be uploading a task, an empty task to the SMS, to the assignments, in order for you to finish the practice book questions and upload it to the assignments. So your homework will be to finish the practice book questions concerning to this lesson. Okay? Now you know what's your homework, guys?
Yes, miss. Thank you.
Finish the practice book questions for lesson 3 life in Brazil. All right, guys, your due date will be Saturday. I will extend the due date till 11 because we are in Ramadan, and I know there's like 2 hours, a couple of hours are lost during iftar and so on. So I will extend the due date till 11 on Saturday. All right, guys,
Okay.
Okay, miss.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. And I'll see you inshallah next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.